Askreddit, Redditors who have decided they don't want to have children. What is your reasoning? My aunt had a disabled daughter. My aunt is now 65 and my disabled cousin is like 45. My aunt's been raising her and dealing with it since she was 20 years old. And my aunt has absolutely lost her mind. She is insane now and looks like Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Talks like him too kinda. And she used to be very elegant and funny. She's addicted to prescription painkillers and spends all her time chain smoking in the basement reading conspiracies about the Clintons lol. My good friend's mother had a disabled child. She tried raising her at home up until age 11 or so. The father died, and as soon as he was gone she dumped the kid in a home and visits her like once a week. She spent all the life insurance on new cars and clothes and furniture and turned her daughter's room into a big closet for all her new clothes. She goes out every night partying. She's in her 40s. Also the husband committed suicide. Just think it's weird how polar opposite these situations are. I can't stand my aunt and hate her crazy opinions and conspiracies and she always tries to start drama. But I respect her a hell of a lot more than the women who abandoned her kid. I've worked at a lot of camps and kids generally love me. I love them too. But I wouldn't want to be a parent to any of them. That's an entirely different level of responsibility that does not appeal to me. I like coming home and being able to enjoy doing nothing. I believe that children are a very serious and irreversible lifelong commitment, and that the majority of society is wrong to consider them the default option, rather than a conscious choice you make for good reasons. With that belief in mind, I simply have no compelling reason for why I should have children, and so I don't have them, because they should be an opt-in, rather than an opt-out. I'm 26, and I find it insulting that people insist on telling me that I will change my mind someday, as if having children or not is the one major life decision I'm not old enough to make. I decided in my teens that I didn't want children, and the older I've gotten, the more solidified I'm in that desire. Kids are a lot of responsibility. They're expensive, time consuming, and a major source of stress. Life is frustrating enough without them. I've been pregnant. It is in no way magical. I hated how I felt. I hated how I was limited to light weights and no weed or alcohol or fancy cheese. I hated how people treated me like glass or slightly retarded. Everyone needed to help or do everything for me. People kept touching my belly. I was just a vessel for another person they wanted to meet. I felt ugly and bloated, but was the center of attention. I was always cranky or tired or hungry or gassy. I had to see so many doctors. I don't even have a GP, but when I was pregnant I had to see someone at least once a month, and they took my blood. I mean, I'll do it again, because I want more kids, but anyone who says it is magical was ducking lying to you. It was an inconvenience at best and grossly painful at worst. I have a lot of supporting reasons, but the main overriding one is that I just don't want them. I think children should be wanted, not just a thing you do, because that's what you do. For supporting reasons, I also am actively worried about the effects of overpopulation. Don't think I'm the type of person, or in the right situation, to be a good parent, and don't really enjoy other people's children. It's 100% money for me. I'm the youngest of 4, and all my life I've seen the havoc that a unplanned, hell even a planned, pregnancy can have on finances. 2 of my siblings had plans for their lives, but when kids happened those plans didn't. Another of my sisters straight up didn't even get a chance to have a future because she got pregnant in her early 20s and didn't even get a chance to go to college. Only one of my siblings had kids and is alright financially, but that's because she worked her ass off for years, got married to a guy who also worked his ass off for years, and when they were in a financially stable position they had kids. I don't think this ducked up world needs more people. I don't like children. I don't see myself as a parent and don't think I'd be good at it. I don't want to give up stuff like traveling and to be responsible for another human who depends on me. BTW. I'm W/25. I hate hearing you'll find the right man to have children with. No, I won't. I never wanted kids and I never will. Edit. Thank you for the award and votes. I would never thought my first ever comment with that many votes would be about not wanting children. I wish my husband would have been okay with placing the baby for adoption. It was too late for an abortion when I found out. I've always had extremely irregular periods. I've gone 6 months without one sometimes. Contraception failed and I realized I was showing pregnancy symptoms. I was pregnant. The birth was traumatic. I hate my life. I'd probably kill myself if it wasn't for my antidepressants. I never wanted kids. Feel free to use me as an example whenever anyone says you'll change your mind. You won't. I love my husband. I love our daughter. But I go to sleep every night wishing I could go back in time and change something, like be abstinent, until I turned 21, so I could get the tubal ligation. I was a few months away from turning 21 when I found out I was pregnant. I was planning the sterilization. My husband was supportive. I was on birth control. We both had jobs and goals, and now life just seems so bleak. I hate it. Besides killing myself, I often fantasize about packing up a few things and leaving and starting a new life. But that would be terrible. I'm bound by guilt and obligation, and although I love my husband and daughter, I have never been so unhappy. I'm going to be 29 this year and I feel the same way. People have tried to tell me I will change my mind. I found someone I love and considered having children very briefly, but ultimately I don't think it's for me. Pregnancy and labor sound terrible, so many things can go wrong. And I don't think I'll be in the financial position to support a kid anytime soon. Given that I'm almost 30, my time is running out anyway. I want to add 5. My so comes first, and I wouldn't do anything that would knowingly put strain on our relationship. I don't think I've seen a happy relationship amongst people with kids. They divorce, fight, nag, and it causes them to drift as they put so much time and effort into raising a kid. It's just not my idea of happiness. 6. I eat healthy, work out, and take pride in my fit/in shape appearance. Pregnancy would wreak havoc on my figure. 7. People are adamant about leaving something behind in this world, and I'd rather leave behind my research, artwork, and maybe a book or two I want to write instead of another human being. It's possible to do both, yes, but it does decrease the time you'd have to do those things. I'm the eldest daughter of 5 siblings. Everyone knows eldest daughters get the responsibility of motherhood shoved on them from childhood. That was made especially true for me when our mother abandoned us when I was 11 and my youngest sibling was 4. I've basically been a full-time mom since I was 11. It ate away at my teens and is now ruining my early adulthood. I love my siblings and would do anything for them, but I want the rest of my life to be my life. 25F. I should start by saying I like kids in general. I love nannying, working with kids, and learning from them. Young people are seriously undervalued. But it sounds like a nightmare to be a parent. In a superficial way, it destroys the body in a way so it never goes back. The process is utterly painful, and 1/3 women describe birth as traumatic. Your skin stretches, your hips permanently widen, and your lady parts go through hell. Most women gain 25 to 40 pounds. Oh, and bye good boobs. Breastfeeding ruins those babies and is extremely painful and emotionally draining. It would take a lot of money, pain, and surgery to go back to some semblance of what you used to look like. So many women are treated like shit by their doctors and the priority is all on the baby. Women are often stuck home alone for months to care for an extremely needy new human. Lots of help in the first few weeks, but that quickly fades and your friends disappear. No drinking, smoking, or other substances that could harm the baby for about a year or more if you breastfeed. There is a really good chance I would get postpartum depression. Risking my mental health alone is not worth it. More practically, in the US, women are penalized for having children in the workplace. On average, a woman's lifetime earnings go down 10% per child. I have worked very hard to obtain a JD, and I'm not going to throw it all away before I have the time even pay off my loans. Women are often expected to do the majority or parenting. I cannot have a career and be expected to drop everything to go pick up a sick kid at school. Trials do not get rescheduled for things like that. I would not have time to be a good parent and attend all the games and dance recitals and etc. I would need a nanny to do that for me, and I really think that is unfair to a child to have someone be a proxy parent. I've seen how those kids turn out. Lastly, a lot of women regret it. As bad as it sounds, all the downsides are not worth the effort. Kids are hard. They are irrational a lot of the time. And that's assuming you are lucky enough to have a healthy child. I know the best choice for me, and any child I have, is to just not do it at all. I have a lot of genes that I don't want to pass on, from mental health problems, a genetic propensity for addiction, to a lot of physical health problems. I don't want to saddle some poor kid with all the same issues I have, others they may get, that I don't have, and then say, have fun with that. The world is already heading toward overpopulation by humans to begin with. The 1 or 2 kids I might have, if I chose to have kids, isn't a whole lot now. But how many kids would they have? And how many kids would those kids have? I'd rather not contribute to the overpopulation issue. I'm a very private person when it comes to my body, and the thought of sharing it with another human and then giving birth to that human in a room with a bunch of people staring and poking and prodding while I'm half naked is terrifying. I have a long family history of pregnancy issues. My mother had to go to the hospital twice a week to get treatment so that she wasn't dehydrated and starving because of how much she was throwing up during her entire pregnancy with me. And this kind of thing goes back several generations that we know of. I don't particularly like babies or toddlers. I don't know why other people think they're so cute when they can't do anything for themselves, and they're always so messy. With babies, you have to change diapers, which is disgusting. And then with toddlers, you have to toilet train and clean up beds when they pee them, which is equally disgusting. This is something a lot of people don't think about, and I know people like stretch marks and don't mind a little chub etc. I'm one of them, LMAO. But if you're really happy with your body, it is gonna change it. And if you are being proactive about your body, diet, exercise etc., it's gonna be almost impossible to keep up with that too. People just kinda expect women to have kids, and it's sad as hell that they don't think about the repercussions for the women. The first question is usually, what if your so wants a baby? I was always told growing up that I'm my own person with choices and agency. I see people who I know my personality is similar to, who have similar outlooks on life and so on, see them hating being a parent and thinking, why do that to myself? And more importantly, why condemn the poor bastard sprung from my loins to an emotionally distant parent? So I chose not do it, got snipped, and frankly the pressure of having the oops baby possibility vanish has just made life much more freeing. True, finding a life partner with the same outlook is incredibly difficult to do, but I can take that, or leave it as I seek to become my own more fulfilled person.